Hello guys and welcome back to another episode of our EAFC 25 career mode here with Bayern Munich. We are kicking off season 7 of the save today. Really excited to be jumping into this after we closed out season 6 last time out with our Bayern Munich side. Of course, clinching the Bundesliga title but falling short in the DFB Pokal and the Champions League. So we've got lots to crack on with today as we will look to reinvest in the squad, and that is where we will start today, as the board have given us a budget of 72 million. Okay, that's not too bad. Of course, not quite the same amount of money as you see in the Premier League, but 72 million plus we will raise some money from player sales. I think that gives us a good budget, especially considering the amount we spent last campaign. And you can see after failing 2 of our on-field objectives last season, our manager rating's down to 56. So we've got some rebuilding to do with the Bayern Munich board. And again, they are asking us to win the treble, which is what I expected. And it's also my own personal objective for this season as well. So we need to make sure we get this summer transfer window right. Because last year we obviously had such a big overhaul. Now we need to focus on the areas that we specifically feel we need to improve to take us to the next level so that we can compete for this treble. So yeah, let's go and take a quick look at the squad and the overview of our transfer window that's up and coming. Yeah, as I just run you through the squad here, we did offer out a couple of contracts towards the end of the previous episode. As I said, I would do so. I think it was Franz Kratzig, Armando Sieb, and I think Christian Fruchtel were the players to sign new deals. We obviously lost a couple of players through retirement and the expiry of their contracts as well. So yeah, the squad's looking a little bit smaller than last season, as Mensa still has that potential to be special. You love to see it. But yeah, there is going to be some signings that we need to make. We're going to have to spend that money wisely. And yeah, potentially some players heading out of the door as well to raise funds for those new signings. So yeah, I'm looking forward to this upcoming transfer window. As I say, we have to get it right with the players that come in, because it's not going to be a big overhaul like we saw last season. It's going to be more specific signings that take us to that next level. Yeah, I've just simmed through to the second day of the month as well. So Eric Dyer has now departed to Fenerbahce. So you can see the full squad here. It's pretty similar to last year, although we have lost a few of those sort of squad players, namely the older defenders, the likes of De Vrij, Dyer and Carvajal. But overall, the squad's looking okay. As I say, it's just about getting the right players in, probably a bit more quality in depth, as I'm pretty sure the starting 11 is as good as it's going to get. I don't really think we need to make any major signings for the first 11. What I am going to do though, guys, is just do a bit of manual free agent searching just to see if there is anyone that we can potentially pick up. I do this at the start of every season. It's not quite as overpowered as it has been in previous years, but you can still find maybe 1 or 2 decent free agents. So yeah, I'll cut back in a few minutes once I've done some searching, and we'll see if there's anyone that might be worth picking up. Well guys, I finished my free agent scouting, and funnily enough I found Lautaro Martinez in there, which is ridiculous. I won't be bringing him back, but Weston McKennie and Namadi Collins, both of these players are not going to be major signings for the squad, but Collins, I think, fills a gap at centre-back where we're quite short, and he's a decent defender, to be fair. As like a 4th or 5th choice centre-back, he's not a terrible option. I may still look to bring in a slightly better centre-back, but as a free agent, I think he'd be a good signing. And Weston McKennie, an experienced player, played for the US national team a lot. He's been at Juventus for a long time, played in the Premier League. He's a bit of an all-rounder. He can fill in anywhere, similar to Conrad Lima and a few other players in the squad, but I love a good utility man. So I think I'm actually going to go ahead and bring both of them in to kick off the new window and make 2 new free agent signings. Well, that's quite a nice way to kick off today's episode. 2 free agent signings and 2 players that aren't going to set the world alight and probably aren't going to play a huge amount anyway, but just kind of bulk out the squad with a bit more quality if we do have to call on them. Collins is probably going to be a 4th, maybe even 5th choice centre-back option, but at 75 overall, he can do a job if we need him to fill in. And McKennie's a bit of a jack of all trades. Yes, he's similar to Lima. We've got a lot of players who can play in midfield, but he can fill in at right back, he can fill in at left back, he can fill in wide. He's just one of those players that can do a job anywhere. You know I love a utility man, and both free agent signings, can't really complain with that. Wow, well, we've just had our first bid of the window as well, coming in from Real Madrid for Pedro Neto. He's got 2 years left on his contract, so he is still sort of tied down here for a while. And I reckon we can get probably close to 50 million for him. We'll go back in at 48.5. And yeah, as I say, 2 years left on his deal, so we don't need to sell. But I said with Rojas coming through and Elise on that side, he's not going to get much football. And if Real Madrid come calling, you're never going to put the phone down. Just had a bid for another of the players that I said I would let go, Lovro Zvonarek. It's actually quite a decent bid as well, like over the market valuation. So I'm going to go 18.5. That would be 2 million more than what they're offering, but 5 mil over the market valuation. And Kieran McKenna says yes. So Lovro didn't feature much last year, just 5 appearances. Looks like we're going to get close to 20 million for him. But a huge bid here for Ronnie Schumacher from PSV. Ridiculous bid for 78.1. I'm going to reject that, and I don't do this very often, but I'm actually going to block the offers for Ronnie. I'm not selling him. He's not going anywhere. He only signed last summer, so why would he be going? We've also had another bid for Zvonarek from Al Hilal, so I'm going to negotiate, see if we can get any more than 18.5, and then we'll leave it up to him where he wants to go. Well, some more bids here. Matteo Maya wanted by Roma, who had a pretty poor season in Italy last year. He was a revelation for us, so there's no way I'm letting him go. But as for this bid for Marcus Rashford, well, I said I wouldn't be against letting him go, especially back to England. I quite like that. And also, I'm pretty sure Crystal Palace came in for him in January before he signed the new deal. So, yeah, I'm all for this. If Marcus wants to go back to England, I'll ask for 23.5. From Oliver Glasner. 22, you know what, we'll go 22.5, and yeah, I'm happy to let him depart. That's going to bring our budget up to way over 100 million if all of these go through, and that gives us a lot of money to reinvest in the squad. And there goes the first deal of the window, or the first departure anyway, and it's Pedro Neto out the door to Real Madrid for 48.5 million. I think that's quite a good sale for someone who didn't feature much last year and only got 1 goal in all competitions. So we maybe could have got over 50 million for him, but just under. I think that's a great deal with Rojas and Elise on that side. Well, there's another deal going through. I believe that is Lovro Zvonarek heading to Ipswich. Yeah, 18.5 million. So he chose the Premier League over the Saudi money. Good on you, lad. We maybe could have got a little bit more cash. We had the offer accepted from Al Hilal for 20, but 18.5, still 5 mil over the market valuation. So it's not the end of the world. And wow, we have really hit peak FC or FIFA career mode transfer craziness. Bukayo Saka has just gone to Aston Villa. I mean, Aston Villa did pretty well when we were in England, but Saka to Villa? What is going on here, eh? And there is the Rashford deal going through as well. So I think that is all the players that we wanted to shift on already out the door, and we're only, I think, less than 2 weeks into the transfer window. So Rashford departs to Selhurst Park, going back to England, and I'm not sure what that brings our budget to now. Let's go and take a quick look. We are at 150 million to spend, so a decent bit of money in the kitty to reinvest in the squad. Well, I'm just very quickly, before we begin spending that money, giving a new contract to Vidovic. He is one of the homegrown trained at the club players that we need, so I think with his deal up at the end of the season, we'll try and give him a 3-year deal because he's only 26, and we'll have to go for a 2-year deal. hopefully try and keep him on roughly the same wage of around 50 grand a week. And I'm hoping he is going to accept this contract. We'll go 50 grand a week, and Vidovic wants a sign-on bonus. Fine with me. He is staying for another 2 years. And I think I'm going to make my first real signing of the summer here with the German-born Frenchman Samuel Jung, who we looked at last year in the summer transfer window but didn't have enough money to bring him in. Currently at Hamburg, who just about survived in the Bundesliga last year, finishing above the playoff place. He looks a really, really solid backup to Sacha Boey. And I mentioned in the previous episode at the end when we ran through the squad, we never had a backup right back. So Sacha had to start every game practically. Konrad Laimer filled in there, and we've still got him and McKennie who can do a job. But I want an out-and-out right back who can fill in for Sacha Boey when he needs a rest. And I think Samuel Jung, as I say, a Frenchman but German-born, playing in Germany as well. I think we should bring him in. Probably costs us around 20 to 25 million, and he looks like he'd be a great backup to Sacha Boey. Going to go in with just a flat fee of 20 million to start off with as well. And they want Vidovic, who's just signed a new contract. Well, that's just stupid, lads. Come on, he's literally just signed a new deal. Let's go back in with 20. And wow, that is a lot of money that they want for him. Okay, we might need to go back into the negotiation here, because I have a feeling that they may walk out on us when we put in this bid. No, 24.9. Well, we're nearly there. Let's just go 24 million for Samuel Jung. 3 mil over the market valuation, but he is a young and upcoming defender. And Hamburg, knowing that they're not really in a position to barter, say they're happy with 24 million. So Samuel Jung is in, and he's the first player that we've signed for a transfer fee, despite being our third signing of the summer. Really, really good pace. He's very, very quick. And his dribbling, defending, physical, all pretty even across the board. So he's pretty decent on the ball. He's got the showing great potential tag, so looks a good young player for the future. And I will get him on the attacking wing-back development plan to up that weak foot. There's only 2-star. I would like to get that up to 3 and eventually 4. But yeah, it looks a really good signing for just £24 million from Hamburg on a 4-year deal. Wow, well that is a big bid from Bournemouth for Federico Luna. I said in the previous episode, I'm not necessarily against selling Federico Luna. He only got, was it 1 goal and 5 assists last year from that left-hand side, but I'm not sure about Bournemouth, you know. They're saying we could get up to 150 million, but, you know, I like to keep my saves realistic, and Bournemouth throughout the whole course of this save have never really been competing at the top of the Premier League. So, as I say, I'm not against letting Federico go, but only to the right suitor, and for me, Bournemouth is not the right suitor. Well, interesting bid here from last season's runners-up, Bayer Leverkusen, wanting to take Sacha Boey. Of course, we picked him up from RB Leipzig, so he could have spent 3 seasons at Leipzig, Bayern Munich, and then Bayer Leverkusen. But no, I'm not letting him go. Probably the best right-back in the division. And having only just re-signed for the club last summer, I definitely don't want to see Sacha depart. There is one departure, and it is just a loan for Jaime Calderon, a young Spanish winger heading to Girona for 2 years. He's just signed a new contract and not quite ready for the first team yet, so I've loaned him out to his native Spain for 2 seasons. Oh, well, look at this one. RB Leipzig looking to mount a push for the title this year, and they want the Bundesliga's top scorer from last campaign. But lads, that is not happening. He's not leaving the reigning champions to join RB Leipzig. No way. And again, like with Ronnie Schumacher, I don't do it very often, but blocking offers for Sem Bakker, he is not going anywhere. And with around 125 million still left in the bank, I said I might still bring in another defender, despite us bringing in Collins. And the guy I actually want to bring in, this seems like a really good deal to me, is Jan Orel Bisek. He came through the academy at FC Köln before moving on to Denmark and then being picked up by Inter Milan. And he's developing his game really well there over the last couple of seasons. In the game though, he's moved moved on to Lille, who had a pretty average season last campaign. He's a really good defender, 6'5", so he's bloody massive, and he's rapid as well. 92 sprint speed and 74 acceleration is not too bad. He's got good balance for a big man, and of course jumping and strength are very high as well. The aggression's good, the interceptions are good, but he's composed as well, and he's good on the ball at playing out of the back. I think potentially as a partner for Gonzalo Inacio, if he can get in ahead of Matteo Maya, or just as a sort of rotational piece to come in for Matteo. He's a really, really good defender to have as competition for the young German that we've already got. 29 years of age now, so he's towards the sort of more experienced years in his career. But if we can pick him up for around 30 million, that is an absolute bargain. So Jan Orel Bissek is in for £30 million from Lille, and to me this is an absolute bargain of a signing. Yes, he's 29, so he's in his late 20s, getting into his early 30s, but as an experienced defender, as I say, he's going to have to work his way into the team alongside Inacio, because Matteo Maya was brilliant last year. We set a defensive record, but his experience playing in the Champions League as well for Inter Milan and moving on to Lille, I think that's a really, really good signing. And for 30 million as well, what a fantastic pickup for the German. Well guys, we've got 2 weeks until the Super Cup against Wolfsburg, and we've got, I think, around 90 million. Yeah, 90 million left in the budget. I've got a few players that I would like to bring in, but there's one man that I am targeting at the moment. I said I wanted to bring in a backup sort of wide player on that left-hand side. I've got a few names on the shortlist. Jamie's way too good to be a backup. Jan-Niklas Bester is another player that's a bit of an all-rounder, can play on the left and on the right, and can play as a left-back as well. And I am quite a big fan of his. But the man that I'm looking at going after, Diego Lopez, is a Spanish left midfielder. Had a really good season for Wolfsburg last year. Actually scored against us in one of our league fixtures. I think it might have been at the Allianz, where he scored with a diving header. Can play left mid, right mid, or as an attacking midfielder. So another player that can play in a whole host of positions. He's not the absolute quickest, but technically this guy is fantastic. 84 long pass, 84 short pass, 83 finishing is really nice as well on a wide player. High dribbling, high ball control, very, very good technically, and he is pretty quick as well with 88 acceleration and 87 sprint speed. I think as a backup and competition to Federico Luna, he would be a fantastic pickup from a Wolfsburg side who did have a pretty good season last year, finishing in the top half of the table, but they did miss out on European football, I think, despite winning the DFB Pokal. But it doesn't matter anyway. We're Bayern Munich. We love picking up the best players in the Bundesliga. So Diego Lopez, let's get after him and see if we can bring him to the Allianz. Yeah, I do think he'll cost us over the market valuation with the season that he had last year. I'd say kind of in his prime at 28 years of age. I'm going to go in at 40 million, and they want Merlin, which no, that is not going to happen. So we'll go back, we'll go in with 42.5. We might have to pay closer to 45 to 50 million here. And well, that's a good sign. I reckon for 45 million, we are really wheeling and dealing this summer, picking up some great bargains. And 45 million for Lopez, and he looks as if he's heading on his way to the Allianz. Yeah, Diego Lopez looks like a really good pickup in his prime at the moment, and another one of those players that can play in a whole host of positions. I actually think this guy could excel as a number 10, playing in behind the striker, but of course that position is kind of locked up by Jamal Musiala. But I honestly think with the numbers that he achieved last year, I don't know exactly how many goals and assists he got, but with the numbers he achieved, he could dislodge Federico Luna in that starting lineup and make a bit of a name for himself on the left-hand side of our team, because I think he fits the system perfectly. Right then, guys, we're 2 weeks away from the Bundesliga starting. So we've got the German Super Cup here as Aston Villa now signing Openda. What is Unai Emery cooking over there? But yeah, we're going to jump into the Super Cup. The signing of Lopez has taken our budget down to around 40 million. So I think I'm going to roll that over to the next episode as we will look to close out the summer transfer window, of course. But we'll end this one here. It's been quite a chilled summer window so far. But we'll close out today's episode with the German Super Cup, which of course we lost to Borussia Dortmund last year. So I'd love to get our hands on the trophy this year, even though it is just a glorified friendly. Auf geht's, die Rotten. Yeah, looking forward to this one, taking on Wolfsburg, and it looks like they've replaced the outgoing Lopez with Odegaard, but Lopez will start for us on this left-hand side. Here he is, taking the number 7 jersey, so yeah, looking forward to seeing how he gets on this season, but yeah, knocked out by Wolfsburg in the DFB Pokal last year, had some good battles with them in the Bundesliga. They're becoming a bit of a rival of ours, and one of my my subscribers, Lupo, if you haven't seen any of his videos, I would definitely recommend going and checking them out. What he's doing is very unique for a career mode save, so definitely go and check out his channel. I'll try and remember to leave a link in the comments, but yeah, he leaves quite a lot of comments on my videos about his Wolfsburg side, you know, about being knocked out by Wolfsburg in the DFB Pokal. So I'd definitely say Wolfsburg becoming a bit of a, not necessarily a rival, but quite a cool team to follow in this save. So yeah, I'd definitely recommend going and checking out Lupo's save, but I'm hoping I can get the better over his Wolfsburg side here in the Super Cup. Havertz finds Odegaard. That's lovely football, and Odegaard, is he onside? He is. Wilson Odegaard took his time, and Ronnie came out on top in the game of wits. He also stood up and took his time and managed to make the save on Odegaard. Only real chance of the half as we head into the break, deadlocked at 0-0 in what's been a quiet half so far. But Ronnie with a big save right at the end of the 45. Elise with the corner for Bayern into Bissek, who gets his head onto it and then hits the deck. Well, that's a bit of a worry for the new man, only just signed, and he is getting back up to his feet, but I'm worried that might be more than just a little 5-day bruise. And now Agay's onside there, and Fonzie's not getting back, and Agay goes on, and Ronnie makes the stop once again. Second time he's denied Wolfsburg. Jung off the bench making his debut, and he finds Rojas down the right. Parisi to beat, and there is Jung again, and still Jung going on, trying his luck, and Jonas Erbig makes the save. That would have been a dream debut for the right back, but now he's got to scamper back into position. Just 5 to play here, and at the moment we look set for another 0-0 in the Super Cup and another penalty shootout as we had last year against Dortmund. Kai Havertz is up first for Wolfsburg, and that is cheeky from the German. Down the middle with the Panenka. Sembaka, I trust him. Going the usual spot for Sembaka, and he picks out the top corner. Now Wilson Odegaard sends Ronnie the wrong way and makes it 2 from 2. Jamal Musiala, the captain. I trust him as well as Jamal. Lots of power, and it's... I hate penalties, man. I hate penalties as Ronnie goes the right way but can't get there. That was literally, if I'd got any more power on that, he would have missed. I'm not sure how the keeper's got there. But nonetheless, Jonas Erbig makes the stop, and now we need Ronnie to make a save as he sent the wrong way again, and it's going to be deja vu from the spot for Bayern Munich as Dusan has to score and doesn't. And Jonas Erbig makes 2 saves from the spot and will be the hero in the Super Cup, and for the 2nd year in a row Bayern Munich lose the Super Cup on penalties. Alright then guys, that is where we are going to leave it for today's episode. Unfortunately losing the Super Cup once again, but I'm not too worried. The real season hasn't started yet. We've still got 2 weeks until our first game in the Bundesliga. And yeah, we'll probably see a few more signings in the next episode. But guys, I hope you have enjoyed, and I'll catch you for the next episode very soon. Take care guys, and peace.